February 24, 1975. Fort Meade, Maryland. A windowless concrete room hums with fluorescent lights while intelligence officers watch a civilian named Viewer S001 sharpen a Dixon pencil and adjust his breathing. The air tastes of instant coffee, copier ozone, and quiet anxiety because nobody present understands how a man can claim to see 5,000 miles while seated in a metal folding chair. Over a silent 7-minute span, S001 scribbles a coastline shaped like a bent paper clip, adds 2 cryptic numbers, and labels the target nuclear subpens, coordinates that later match Murmansk within 9 nautical miles. This improbable scene exists because Major General Albert Stubblebine III, newly appointed commander of Army Intelligence, believes focused human consciousness can pierce steel vaults and bureaucratic doubt alike. Colleagues call him the spoon-bending general after he demonstrates metal deformation tricks in a Pentagon hallway. But critics whisper he risks transforming military analysis into carnival illusion. Stubblebine signs every funding request, every security clearance, and every top-secret memo stamped Project Stargate, turning personal faith into institutional mandate. 3 impossible data points quickly stacked beneath his signature, forming what auditors later nicknamed the ESP Pyramid of Proof. First, a declassified CIA transcript from 1973 shows viewer Pat Price sketching a Soviet bomber crash site and labeling the debris Tu-95 Bear, an aircraft never mentioned to him, later verified by satellite pass KH-9. Second, a secret 1977 Senate Appropriations memo funnels $20 million to Stanford Research Institute under budget code SCANET, hiding paranormal experiments beneath an innocuous line item called Foreign Technology. Third, a 1983 defense audit numbered NGH020 lists 148 operational missions, ranging from hostage location in Tehran to chemical plant surveillance in Tripoli, all conducted by seated civilians with blindfolds and pencils. The success claims make newsroom headlines a decade later, but behind closed doors, skeptics gather ammunition, determined to puncture the illusion with rigorous replication. In 2018, Johns Hopkins University's Cognitive Science Lab attempts a controlled rerun of classic coordinate remote viewing using EEG headsets, double-blind protocols, and undergraduate volunteers paid pizza money. After 6 months of sessions, the Hopkins dataset averages precisely chance accuracy, prompting the lead scientist to publish a blunt conclusion: no replicable psi effect detected under tightened sensory controls. Remote viewing veterans respond that Hopkins ignored 3 vital ingredients: structured breathing, outbounder emotional linkage, and post-session feedback, claiming the lab essentially baked bread without yeast. While academia debates, hidden files keep breathing behind vault doors. Box 17, Folder 82 of the Defense Intelligence Agency archives remain sealed in 2025 because its cover sheet reads CRV Operational Success, Site S4, Top Secret, Nuffern. An archivist admits off record that the report references a foreign nuclear facility still active, implying the psychic data proved too accurate for public release. Mainstream psychologist Dr. Ray Hyman called to testify at 2 congressional hearings. Brand's Stargate methodological quicksand, driven by confirmation bias and sensory leakage rather than clairvoyance. Hyman points to early sessions where viewers may have overheard whispered map coordinates, invalidating hits that dazzled the generals. Yet Hyman never held the full clearance that would allow him to read raw tasking orders. A GAP remote viewing champion, Dr. Edwin May, insists undercuts the skeptic's verdict. Physicist Russell Targ appears on a black and white interview reel, stating calmly, "We filmed Pat Price inside a Faraday cage describing a Soviet R-7I CBM silo layout accurate to scale statistically impossible by luck." Former DIA analyst Lynn Buchanan in Desert Camouflage recalls, "In 1990, I drew mobile Scud launchers hidden near Basra, and Schwarzkopf's staff adjusted airstrike coordinates within 24 hours. Statistician Jessica Utz publishes a peer-reviewed meta-analysis concluding that remote viewing effect sizes rival many accepted pharmaceutical outcomes, a statement that forces one journal editor to add a disclaimer, yet not retract the paper. Meanwhile, declassified KGB files reveal Moscow's Institute of Cybernetics ran a mirror program code named Olympiada, where researchers attempted telepathic animal navigation with dolphins stationed beneath Black Sea submarines. By 1984, combined East-West spending on psychic espionage exceeds $60 million, illustrating that belief, not proof, often controls purse strings in a cold war of ideas. Stubblebean's personal faith, however, meets bureaucratic gravity in March 1984 when he attempts to walk through his Pentagon office wall and emerges with a bloody nose. Rumor of the collision circulates through defense circles, sparking jokes on late-night television and emboldening budget hawks on Capitol Hill. Congressional laughter translates into canceled line items. Stargate staggers into the early 90s, funded by crumbs and guarded by diehards. Finally, on June 30th, 1995, the CIA shutters the program, releasing a white paper that reads, "No provable intelligence value," yet redacts 85% of mission summaries. Skeptics claim the redactions hide embarrassment. Believers counter, they hide accuracy too disturbing to reveal. Today, the U.S. National Archives hosts 13,000 pages of Stargate records on the publicly searchable CIA CREST database, though many coordinates and foreign facility names remain blanked. Anyone can type Sunstreak or Grill Flame into the search bar and download hand-drawn targets once stamped top secret. Compare viewer sketches of the Tehran embassy rescue attempt to declassified Delta, force plans, and decide whether the hits outweigh the misses. If curiosity bites deeper, request the remaining sealed folders through a Freedom of Information Act filing, though response letters often arrive stamped no records or security exemption. Critics argue that secrecy fueled myth more than evidence. Yet secrecy was the point-plausible deniability if Psi failed, strategic advantage if it scored. The broader implication is uncomfortable. Governments bankroll what might be nonsense long before science says yes or no, because war rewards even one correct guess. Stargate also birthed cultural fallout, inspiring spoon-bending segments on morning talk shows and planting the seeds for Hollywood's Men Who Stare at Goats satire. But inside Fort Meade, viewers rarely laughed. They logged physiological stress, migraines, and occasional existential dread from by-location experiences difficult to explain in staff meetings. Such human toll never appears in budget justifications, yet shapes every classified memo urging caution. The story circles back to our gatekeeper. Stubblebean retires in humiliation, yet never recants his belief that consciousness is limitless and war is fought first in the mind. He spends final years teaching spoon-bending at New Age retreats, insisting the Pentagon will one day declassify proof that walls are illusions. Whether history vindicates him or buries him depends on what lies behind those still sealed DIA cartons. So, open the CREST database, read session 4769, and tell me which detail bends your skepticism. Drop that detail in the comments, then hit subscribe so you're on the inside when we open Operation Northwood's next episode, a Pentagon plan that proposed faking terror on U.S. soil. Keep tugging on every redacted corner, because sometimes the wildest ideas are merely the first thin line of ink hiding a darker line beneath.